Good morning, everyone. I'm Laurie Baracco, and it's time for the Empower Hour. As you can see, my co-host is Buddha. I'm at the Bonita Springs Mystical Moon, and I am in the classroom. And Jenny Willing created this beautiful mural that's behind me, and it's a tree, and it has Buddha, and then there are some beautiful hidden symbols in there with the artwork that's so cool. If you've had a private session with me at the store, you would see that there's this beautiful angel painting in my room as well. And it's cool because I know that Jenny, she creates the artwork, and then you take a look later, and then there are different little pictures that her subconscious helped bring through as she's creating the artwork there. And Jenny's website, by the way, is Soul to Soul Artwork, SOUL, 2, Soul Artwork. And for those who are in the online community, I'm going to write that down for you. So it's Soul to Soul Artwork. And her name is Jenny Willing. JENIWILLING. So she has such beautiful work, and I do believe we have a few pieces also at the Fort Myers store that you can purchase as well. And I have one canvas here at the Bonita store, and it's also a Buddha painting as well. All right, so it's so good to see everyone. This week's topic is Feng Shui for abundance, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. I did want to talk about a few different events this week. Actually, today is a full moon. So when there's a full moon, I like to really kind of harness that energy. I usually put my intentions out there on the new moon, but with the full moon, sometimes I like to kind of pull it together and just tap into that energy, embrace it. I might charge my crystals under the moon. I might meditate under the full moon. It definitely is a time of heightened sensitivity. So your intuitive senses are turned up quite a bit. If you're an empath and you feel energy, you might notice that, hey, I'm a little bit more sensitive than usual, and I might want to be mindful of this and maybe do what I can to ground myself a little bit by getting out in nature, using a tree visualization with being that you're the trunk and that the roots are coming out through your feet into the ground, grounding it into the earth. So that's another thing you might want to do. You might even want to carry some crystals with you that are grounding, that work with the root chakra, such as tiger's eye or hematite or black tourmaline. Typically they're red stones that help kind of ground us a little bit more so, as well as the black ones to help us kind of stay present and focused too. You can also look at check out Ray Setty's forecast for the full moon on his website. I believe it's astrologerray.com, or you can go to his Facebook page as well. All right, so full moon energy. And I do see quite a few people here joining us on the YouTube page as well as in the online community, www.themysticalmoon.ning.com. So, so if there's anything that anyone would like to share in the online community, feel free in regards to the full moon, what your tradition or custom is that you like to do during this time where there's this enhanced, intuitive, psychic, feminine energy. So feel free to type in your thoughts, what it is you do. And then as we move into today's subject matter, Feng Shui for abundance, to work with that as well, to type in your thoughts, your suggestions, your questions too. Also coming up this week in the Bonita Springs store, we have the Goddess Circle. Pam Zock will be hosting that, and it's at 7 p.m. and the Goddess is Shakti, S-H-A-T-K-I, Friday night in Fort Myers is a little bit of switch of scheduling. Joanna's going to be hosting Tapping Into Akasha, so that's Friday night in the Fort Myers store at 7 p.m. And in the Fort Myers store this weekend as well, we have the Psychic Fair from 10 to 5. And with the Psychic Fair, we do book up extremely quickly because it's such a great rate, 20 minutes for $25, and you can even have a little bit of sampling of everything. Available for private sessions. The intuitive psychics are Mary Alice Warren, we have Ashley Devine, we have Claudia Johnson, Jenny Martin, I know I'm forgetting, oh, and then Pam Zach is also going to be offering Reiki sessions. I believe I have everybody on there. And then on Sunday in the Bonita store, Joanna will be hosting her Sacred Soul Sunday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. here at the Bonita store. And then as we move into next week, we have more events coming up as well. Also, I did want to put out there that Paulette McDaniel will be teaching a workshop on how to read tea leaves. And that is going to be on the 4th Friday of this month. And I don't have the exact date. It's May. If you look at the online calendar, you'll be able to find it there. Okay. Go back here quick. You'll be able to find the information on that and how to read those tea leaves for yourself. It's kind of a cool art, and not everybody, it's not easy. It's not an easy workshop to find, so it'd be kind of fun with that. And then in June, I did want to put this out there, Carrie Stokes will be at the Mystical Moon in Fort Myers, I believe. I think we're going to do in Fort Myers, hosting a drum making workshop, and that's going to be on Sunday, June 11th, beginning at 12 p.m., 12 noon, sharp. So if you're interested in that, just give us a holler. We're still putting that information on the calendar, but if you're interested, give us a call, because it's pretty kind of cool, because then you also get to choose the hide to use to make your drum. And it's a sacred process, and I had questions about that. So I said, okay, Carrie, what's up with the hide, the leather? And he said that all of the materials were prepared in a sacred way, and it's after the animal had expired. So I said, okay, just checking on that, because I would feel a little awkward with that. But he said it's all done in a sacred process from where he obtains the material. So that I feel more comfortable with that. Woo! All right, so moving forward, Feng Shui. So Feng Shui is the Eastern practice or art of working with energy. So they say it's a Chinese system of harmonizing the environment by balancing the elements to create a specific ambiance, clear negative energy, and or bring in positive energy. And so I have a few tips that I've used to help shift some energy in my space. So it most certainly is important to work with the energy, the chi, the life force energy that is in your space. It does affect us. You know, I've covered this many times in classes and through the Empower Hour, that you can walk into a space and instantly feel the vibration, if it feels positive, if it feels negative, if it feels a little off, if you feel like, oh, this is just so soothing. We are sensitive. We're all sensitive, whether you recognize it or not. I mean, people who maybe aren't as consciously aware or pay attention to their environment are still picking up on energy. They're still picking up on it, whether they realize it or not. They could say, you know what, I had a great day at work, and then I came home and now I'm feeling really funky. I'm really grumpy now. And they may not attribute that to what's going on at home, the environment, the people, the placement of the objects, and so on and so forth. And that carries over to all different areas, whether it's in your work environment, whether it's at a family member's home, wherever, your car. Like we are sensitive to energy, and yes, our environment most certainly can affect us and influence us when you start opening up your auric field and connecting and merging energy fields with that environment. And there doesn't necessarily need to be other people in that environment. Who knows what happened before, right? Say if for example, say I come home and nobody's home, but someone was having a really rough day. And whether they woke up, had a bad dream, whatever it is, that they don't have to be there for me to feel things may be off just a little bit, right? You don't need to. It could be that they left kind of like these negative energy bombs around. We're going to call them negative energy bombs, like poof, I'm so grumpy that dream just really set me off. And that's the frequency there. I mean, who knows? There could be, there are so many different reasons for negative energy as well as positive energy, right? So just so that I just want to touch upon that just a little bit. So if we work with the placement of objects and the mindset of what it is you want to create, you will shift your environment. You will shift your own experience, right? What's going on with you. And I do have to put it in there. We most certainly do not want to try to control others, right? So say if I wanted to work with some feng shui tips for love, I most certainly would not do anything to try to influence my husband. I would want to set the space for a loving environment. That's what I would want to do, not that so that my husband will love me more and be at my beck and call all day. That's not fair. That's gonna come back at you because I would be trying to control him, and I don't want to control him because I wouldn't want to be controlled. First of all, I'm sure none of you would want to be controlled either. And I think you kind of get that gist. So I can set the ambiance for my home, and it is my home. So I do have authority or permission to do so. If I was to go into somebody else's home and do that, then that is not okay, right? That's not okay. Unless I had their permission, right? So there are certain people who are feng shui experts or a space clearing expert that you do hire them and you commission them to come in and to do this. And so it is important too, by the way, that you are on the same page and wavelength as these people, right? That you're hiring. This is my intention of what I want to create. You want to make sure you're clear with that as well. Okay, so moving forward. So I think you kind of get the gist of that. I really went into that in depth, and I wasn't exactly planning on going that in depth, but Spirit had another plan. All right, so let's go back here. All right, Spirit had another plan as well as my computer had a plan, and it wants to update my Adobe. That's not going to happen right now. All right, so I did go over what feng shui is. And has anybody here worked with feng shui with intention or read books on the subject? So if you have, just feel free to share your information there and what you have worked with and how you've worked with that method. I personally have not taken many feng shui classes. A lot of it I've read and what I have researched and what I've kind of brought through psychically, right? Through my guides, and they have helped me bring through some of this information, okay? And by the way, there are many, many, many different types of feng shui lineages and practices, right? There's the Eastern feng shui, there's the Western feng shui. Like this is a whole other segment that we could go into. But for today's purposes, we're going to mainly focus on the ones to help with prosperity. Now, you can work with these tips or cures in your home, in your office, and of course, we're not going to invade other people's spaces. We'll only work with others if we have permission. I mean, there are things you could do, even not just a space, right? So a home, a room, a desk, a work environment, your car, I guess, and an altar. You can do that with altars too. An altar can be an abundance altar as well. So those are just a few different things. Oh, and by the way, so they're telling me one more thing, is that on June 3rd in the Bonita store, I think it's a 12, I'm not sure. But in the Bonita Springs store, Pam Zock on June 3rd will be teaching a feng shui workshop. So, excuse me, I'm not feng shui, I'm so sorry, altar class. goodness. She'll be teaching an altar class. And so an altar is a representation of the energy you want to harness and work with, and connecting it with spirit. Okay, so there are many different things that she'll cover in that class. And I took the one she had last year, I attended it, and it was fabulous. She just has such a she just has that knowingness of how to pull some objects together, make it look beautiful. It's like she has a magic wand and poof, it's done. So so that's a class that if you're interested, call the Bonita Springs store. On to Feng Shui tips for abundance. All right, so the first tip. On a small piece of paper, write the number 8 on it. Place the paper in your wallet. And 8 is also the infinity sign. And when you place the infinity sign in your wallet, you are creating a flow that goes from you and to you. So if you can see this, so the 8 represents what goes out, comes back. What goes out, comes back, right? And some of you may say, well, what about what comes in can go out? But you are creating a flow, and that is something that a lot of people get hung up on, is there's so much money coming out. Well, that's because Spirit knows that you have the means to, and the ability and the consciousness to have that come back towards you. And sometimes, yes, you need to spend a little to receive a little. So when we hold on and we focus so much on every penny counts, and maybe every penny does count, which it does. Every penny counts, and I can't do this, I can't afford that, if I only had the money. I mean, I do hear that a lot. We do hear that a lot with people who are trying to get over that financial, that hump. It's like, oh my gosh, that struggle. The struggle is real for many people. And when we look at things as, of course, there's another bill. It's like that's our attention. That's where we're giving energy, and we're fueling that belief system. And yes, that may be your experience for a little while. However, to try not to get caught up in that is going to raise your vibration. By shifting that thinking, you are revealing light, and you are creating a whole different scenario for yourself. So if you were to really look at where your money is going, and the things that, and the places that you're leaking money, do we need Starbucks every day? Can we buy Starbucks and a little for our Keurig at home? And if those things add up, it is interesting, what people say, well, I don't know, I can't afford that. That's too much money. But then if you do rework where you're spending your money, you'll notice that, oh, I guess there is extra, and it's where I choose and what I value with my money too. What is valuable to me, that is worth me putting that money out there. Okay. Now this is interesting because I did see that commercial for, I think it was eHarmony, where they said something, and I thought that was very interesting, where I'm just going to summarize the commercial, that the woman said, I prefer to go on a paid website because it adds value to what I'm trying to do rather than a free dating website. Something to think about, right? If you value it and honor it, you will give equal exchange of energy. And this is where a lot of us do not place value on what it is we're doing, and we're giving it away for free, or maybe we're expecting things for free. Okay, just as trying to get away with something to get the most out of something. So say, I'll just use an example. Say someone says, well, I don't know. I think I paid online, or maybe I didn't. And then they didn't, and they know that they didn't. And then you're trying to work around it, and maybe you're trying to get a free reading out of it, or a meal. Say the meal was okay, and you're one that may complain a little bit, and you already ate all of it. It's something to think about. It's not, and sometimes it's the thrill of trying to do that. But think about that. If you're trying to cut corners or be a little shady with things to try to get a bargain, a deal, that's going to come back at you. And then it may not have a label or a tag that, oh, this is the karma from you trying to take advantage of the system. Something to think about when it comes to abundance, okay? That may not have a lot to do with Feng Shui, but hey, it does have to do with abundance, so. Another thing with your wallet, your money, is to try to keep it organized, all facing the same way, not kind of thrown all over, keeping it nice and neat and organized is showing you have respect for your money, your abundance that has come to you and that what is in your possession right now. That's something to think about too, as well as trying to keep your paperwork, your bills organized and neat. That is, that's a representation that I'm on top of it. And I know exactly how much I have and where it is and so on and so forth. Okay. Another feng shui tip is to get one of the three-legged toads, the frogs, and place it by the door facing in. Now I know that there are many different, what's the word I want? Additions to that, or hey, wait a minute, there are different thoughts on that. If you have more than one frog, that part I don't remember. I do remember I had a feng shui expert who worked through the store, Sophia, and she had said, you have blah, blah, blah frog, money frogs, so some have to face out, some have to face in. But if you have one, remember, you want to have it facing in so that the money's coming in. If you have it pointing towards the door, it's a representation of money going out. So you want that money frog facing in, okay? All right. Here's another one. Place a citrine crystal in the money corner of your room, home, or business. The money corner is the northwest corner in your room, your home, business, desk, altar. Northwest corner. So in this store, and that's from the front door, the abundance corner is this classroom. It's actually right here where I'm sitting. So there are some things I'm sure that we could most certainly be doing here in this corner over here to help enhance the energy more so. And by the way, sometimes it does help to switch things up a little bit. All right, to switch it up. So say for a while, you know, the flow is really great, and then you're thinking, well, things are a little stagnant. It might be time to switch up that feng shui area in your home or all areas. And if you're not sure how to determine what area is what, I'm going to type in what you need to look at. You can look online or purchase one. It's a bagua, B-A-G-U-A, or bakwa, B-A-Q-U-A. And it's the placement. It shows all the quas, Q-U-A, or the sections that energetically hold space. So there's the relationship corner, which I just wrote an article for Awakening People on that one. Then there's abundance corner, helpful people, health, family, so many, the creative corner, so many different areas, corners or sections. All right. Fame, reputation, that's another one. I'm thinking I need to consult with my feng shui expert, Barbara Bell, who I've worked with for years. She's a really great friend. And I think it might be time to kind of give her a call and bring her own expertise in as well. So a bagua or bagua is going to help you understand what area is where and how to bring in those cures, the symbols, the colors, little accents here and there. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. So yes, it's the citrine that goes. So Heather has a question, which crystal goes in the northwest corner? Citrine. Citrine or any other abundant stone such as jade, garnet, aventurine, any type of abundance stone, but a lot of people do put citrine in that area of their home, business, office, altar. Let's see, repair any leaky faucets in your space. The leak can represent money leaking from your wallet or bank account, so do your best to repair that for sure. I also know that, say if your restroom is in the abundance corner or whatever area it is, you want to make sure that you have that red string to tie it around it to help with energy, so energy doesn't leak as well, whatever energy section that is. In the Fort Myers store, it's the relationship area. So Christina Ming had come into the area, and she had feng shuied that for me as well. So that's another wonderful practitioner. And I know some of you are not in this area. Christina Ming, yes, Christina with a K, M-I-N-G, is stationed. She's stationed, located out in California, but she has family that comes in the area, and she stays in the Cape. So she's another wonderful feng shui practitioner. All right, get rid of the clutter. Clutter creates stagnancy in your space and prevents the flow of abundance from moving into your space. And this is something, whether it's feng shui or just good shui or good energy, is to, I think I made that up, it helps the chi, the energy, the flow to keep moving. And yes, we tend to get a little bit grumpy or crabby when there's a pile of stuff and it's all messy. I think also for me, it represents that, hey, this is a little bit messy. Hey, these are things I need to take care of. Hey, I haven't done it yet. So that kind of like plays with my mind sometimes, you know, just a lot. Also, let's see here. Add a live plant to any room in your space. The living plant represents a growing and thriving environment. Bamboo plants are wonderful for abundance and growth. So that does help get that chi, that energy moving as well. So living, growing, that means my bank account, my wallet's growing as well. Bring in a water fountain into your abundance corner. The constant movement of the water keeps the energy flowing and moving. So it kind of cycles, keeps that flow going for you. All right. Anybody here have a water fountain in their abundance corner? So please feel free to type it. And then you want to make sure that you keep that moving, that you keep it clean, that it's not all muddy, murky. Keep that going for a while. Like keep it nice and clean and flowing, and add water when it needs to be filled up. Also, if it's broken, take care of that too. You don't want a broken water fountain because it's going to represent, again, leaking of energy. Let's see here. Purchase 3 goldfish, 2 orange and 1 black. The orange fish will bring wealth to you, and the black one absorbs negativity that may prevent you from being abundant. Right? So 3 goldfish, 2 orange, 1 black. Orange brings in wealth, and the black absorbs that negativity. All right? Fresh air and good air quality helps that energy and that chi moving. It's not stagnant. If it feels kind of still, I would add a fan. I would open up a window. I do that sometimes, right? Once in a while, we have some fresh air come through, even if it's warm. And in our new home, it faces south. So we have a different flow of energy and air movement than what we did at our other home. So whenever it's a little bit cooler, we open up all the windows and get that air moving, okay? My grandma used to say, it blows the stink off of you. Yeah, it gets that heaviness off of you. Clean your windows. So cleaning the windows represents fresh sight and being able to see things really clearly, so that it's more visible, okay? It's like, I could see what this is about. I understand. Let's see here. Give more compassion. So compassion is giving and gets the flow going. So understanding and being caring for another person, it's also like giving back and keeps that flow in that way going. Also donating or giving people, like giving to charity, that also helps get that flow going, right? It's like I'm sharing my wealth, my abundance, and tithing is something too that does help with that flow of abundance. Tithing is giving back to the areas where you receive light. For some people, it's church. For some people, whatever it is, okay? Tithing, giving without expectations. I want to give back because I've received so much from here. Let's see what else. Use your kitchen. Food is nourishment and a sign of prosperity if you eat well. So get in there, right? And get the energy flowing a little bit as well. That kitchen represents wealth. It's like I have enough to share. I have all this wonderful good nourishment from my physical body, and by cooking and being in that area, it gets that moving as well. Let's see what else I had. Breaking up the energy by using bells, saging, helps clear that environment as well. So I like to take the Tingshas, T-I-N-G-T-S-I-N-G. I think I'm saying it wrong. I think it's really Shingsha, because that's what Christina would say, Shingsha. But they're the two bells that are on a little cord or leather cord, and you ring them together and it breaks up the energy. Even having bells either by the front door or in the abundance corner helps move that energy as well. Okay. Gosh, I see a lot more people have joined us more towards the end. So, but you're always able to go back and watch and view the first part or portion of the segment, either through the YouTube page or in the online community. So that's a lot of what I have here. So by trying these Feng Shui tips are meant to help you recognize and shift the energy in your environment. Give them a try, one at a time. I would say one at a time to kind of integrate slowly to see what method works best for you. It's also a good idea to switch up the energy in your space on a regular basis, as I had mentioned. Okay, so if anyone has any questions about the topic Feng Shui for Abundance, please type that in. And I am also going to open up the space for questions. I do have a question or two that has been already emailed to me through the online community. And in the email that I had sent out to the online community, I did mention that last week I had touched upon, put it out there that I was going to change the timing of when this segment was aired. And then from the feedback I received from a lot of you, most people said that this worked best for them. So we'll make it work for all of you. I gotcha. I hear you. All right. So, oh, and hello. There are many people here in the on the YouTube page as well. It's good to see all of you. And again, if you're just joining me, my co-host is Buddha over here, created by Jenny Willing of Soul to Soul Artwork, Soul with a number 2, Soul Artwork. And she does wonderful commissioned artwork pieces, we have some of the canvases for sale as well that are available for purchasing. All right, so feel free in the online community to type in your question. If not, I'm going to go to the email questions first. All right. Oh, I did want to say, before I go into that, to mention that with our special guest, Ray Setti, who was here for the last few weeks, many people were unable to schedule a session with Ray because he booked up. So we most certainly offer private sessions with Ray through the telephone system, through the phone system. So a phone consultation is just the same. It's exactly the same as an in-person session. He could do the chart online through the phone as well. We just would need your information, your birth date, time, place, at least 24 hours before your scheduled session. So he did open his book up for this Friday, and I believe he's already booked already for phone consultation. So if you're interested, just give us a call at the front desk and we'll put you on a waiting list and let you know when Ray will open up his schedule for us as well, because he also sees people in person at his place in New Jersey too. All right, so I'm going to go to my first question here through the email. This is for Millie. So Millie's question has to do with her health. And you know what? This is something that has popped up for so many people about their health, because a lot of health issues have popped up. Not necessarily all serious, but the temple, the physical body, the temple where we house our spirit, our soul, needs to be nurtured and really taken care of. And if you have kind of like, put it to the side, health, not that big of a deal. One day I'll deal with it. One day I'll take care of it. Well, guess what? It's like your body's saying, hello, remember me? You've neglected me, and it's time to take care of me. I with my symptoms are a representative. I am a representative of all of the unfinished business, thoughts, emotions, and things that you haven't been dealing with, and now it has manifested in the physical body. Okay, it's all of a sudden one day you wake up and you're like 10 years older. Oh my goodness, what happened? Now I will pay attention to you. All right, so with Millie's question about messages from her guides in regards to her spirit. Well, first of all, I'm going to show you the cards, and then I will go through the message that I have through the cards as well as with my intuition. So the first card is the Wheel of Fortune, then the Three of Cups, and then the Ace of Cups. And the cups represent our emotions and our feelings. And what they're saying is for you to kind of roll with it a little bit more. So I feel like there are some changes, and I feel like there are some things that you are needing to compromise, and you're noticing your body is requiring a different type of fuel. And I do see some resistance with this. I'm actually kind of going to the root chakra a little bit more so I don't know if it's your hips, your knees, your feet, but I'm going to that area. To me, it has to do with taking care of that root chakra and finding your foundation and planting your feet firmly on the ground. So what I'm hearing is, yeah, there are a couple of little things that I feel like you do need to take care of for yourself, like listen to the body. And I'm hearing to cut back on the sodium, but maybe look into the Himalayan salt, the pink salt, because that feels like it might help you a little bit. Like I am feeling like a couple of things here and there, and it feels like they're more of annoyances. And your guides are most certainly saying, pay attention to the body, slow it down a little bit. And with the cards that I drew, it has to do with, I love this phrase, this phrase from Byron Katie, love what is, loving what is. So go with the flow, right? Don't try not to resist. This is like fate. And maybe there are a couple things that you're saying, well, that was not on my agenda, but yet here it is. And the Three of Cups is about a celebration. And also the number 3, I think you know what that means. With the number 3, so this is enjoying and loving and embracing that this is where I'm at. And it may not be according to what I had planned. I'm going to go with it. And this Ace of Cups is saying that you're holding back. So you're holding back, whether it's your love or trying to go into protective mode. But I'm going to encourage you to kind of look at that a little bit and just ask yourself, where am I really holding back? And is it necessary to hold back? Or where should I be holding back? And I'm just kind of giving someone or a situation a pass. Kind of look at that. And that is affecting your health, okay? Take a look at that. Okay. All right, so Robin says she's open to spirits. I'm going to go to Robin next. And Kelly says, my guides are answering my questions before I type them. Ah, she says she loves. I love you too. And that's the thing, is that even though we're not in the physical same room, we are connected through energy through a vortex. And before I even go online, I open up the space and I ask that whomever is connected, that we create this flow between all of us, and that's for the highest and best good of all. And as we do that, it enhances, it grows, it creates a really awesome vortex, not in the physical, but in the non-physical. Okay? So glad that they're just kind of like, they're just like, we're in sync. We got you, girlfriend. That's what they're telling you, Kelly. All right, so Robin's open to spirit. This is so interesting because we do have, I want to say these cards have popped up more than once, at least one of them. And it has to do with strategizing where you're going to put that abundance. Where am I going to put that abundance? As it continues to flow in, what am I going to do with it? And they're encouraging you to, and I'll show you the cards in a second. Your guides are encouraging you, or spirit's encouraging you to put that abundance in a different place than where you have before. Like break that pattern. Like now that this flow is coming in, now that the flow is coming in a different way than it ever has before, let's be proactive and invest and put it in a different place for that security for the future. And what they are showing me, it's like there's a new opportunity. There's a new beginning that comes in down the road because you have maybe you're being more proactive than reactive when it comes to the flow that's coming in, because sometimes, oh, here comes that money. Good, I need to pay for this, this, and this. And now they're saying there might be a little bit extra involved for you. So let's change it up so that it has more longevity. All right. We have the King of Pentacles. So this is abundance flowing, and it's like, I got my groove. I think I'm tapping in. I'm tapping into that vortex. The Ace of, I was gonna say Wands, the Ace of Swords. So this is like that clever mind, that thinking, like, here's that strategizing. What am I gonna do? I have new thoughts and new ideas on how I'm going to pull it all together. And then you have the Empress. Now this one I think's popped up for you before. I don't know, it feels familiar for me and to me. So they're saying, let's think this through. Let's prepare for the future. And let's see, this is kind of like, since I'm tapped into that vortex, I'm going to harness this energy and kind of do a little bit of research and do things differently as it comes in. Okay, so I hope that did help. Alrighty, so Vanessa asks, W was traveling and was sick. Is the trip going to bring healing with his family, and is he going to be okay? Right off the bat, I hear yes. However, I feel that he's going to have to take it, like he's going to have to go off the grid for a little while when he comes back. Okay, if that makes sense. So much. I just see so much like all of this swirling energy and thoughts, and it's not the time for him to process things yet. I feel like things are happening. So when you're not being downloaded right now. Okay, so sorry. There we go. The screen switched. So he's still traveling, right? Yeah, I believe he's still traveling. So it's important for him to stay in the moment, to not allow himself to be pulled into what's going on here, there, and to try not to be reactive and to be proactive with everything that's happening. It's not the time to fix everything and to take everything personally, because sometimes it's like, oh, here comes that trigger, and then we're like, wait a minute, blah, blah, and it's stirring up all of these emotions that maybe have been kind of tucked away a little bit. All right, so will it bring healing? Yes. Maybe more so for him than for others, because this is what they're showing me. I'm seeing a little bit of disappointment. I hate to say this, but I do see disappointment. I see the Lovers reversed. I see the Star reversed. I see the King of Wands reversed. So to me, this is more like, this is a reality check. This is like, okay, how I thought things were maybe are not necessarily that way. And what they're saying is that it's important that for him to not put his expectations on relationships that maybe you see more clearly, and he still is wanting it to be a certain way. That's setting him up for disappointment and for disharmony. So I know he'll be okay. I feel like when he comes back, he needs to go off the grid, and it's important for him to make like notes, mental notes, or write things down like, I'm going to think about that when I go home. And I'm hearing the 4 agreements. Work with the 4 agreements. Try not to take things personally. Always do your best. Be impeccable with your word. And don't make assumptions. So I feel like if he were to apply all of those, it's going to help him through this trip. And I see so much healing for him. And I see him after he comes back. I feel like, yeah, he may be needing to get acclimated back home. And all this that happened, because he's such a passionate person, so passionate, so loving, so passionate. And I just think he needs an adjustment when he comes back. That's just what they're showing me, but he'll be okay. All right. Millie says, thank you. You're welcome, Millie. Robin says, that makes sense. Exactly. The strategy, and yes, familiar. Thank you. And let's see, I'm going to move into Heather's question. She's open to spirit. Let's see what's moving. And you're welcome. When are you coming to visit, Vanessa? That's my question. Would love to see you for sure. All right. Well, what I'm seeing with you and for you, Heather, is a really beautiful, awesome flow with a male. So are you in relationship? You type that in. So I have the Four of Wands, the Devil reverse, and then I have the Emperor. So to me, this shows me this has to do with personal relationship and being in a really awesome flow and really connecting with someone. So I'm going to wait 1 second so that you can type yes or no if you're in relationship. So what this means to me is that if you're in relationship, oh, there's even more of this flow, this being on the same wavelength, and there's no drama and so on and so forth. So you say no, so then that means that there's a potential relationship coming in, and I'm going to say this. It's not with anybody that you know. It's not with anyone that you have been with before. So this is someone brand new coming in. And so I'm not sure if you're looking or not, and it feels like not necessarily, because I got to show you this quick. I pulled three more because this is so interesting. We have all swords. So there's the King of Swords. There's, whoops, the Queen of Swords. Sorry, and I got to pick this one up. Nine of Swords. So the swords have to do with our mind, our thought. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I might have a bad taste in my mouth. So what they're showing me is for you to just continue to be open and trust that whomever is for your highest and best good, and that where there's a healthy balance, you'll be in alignment with that opportunity coming in for you. So that's kind of good news, I think. And what I had seen here, like I said, it's someone who, I see a partner, a potential partner who is grounded, who is settled, who knows themselves, who is secure, and where I got that was that Emperor. So the Emperor, and that was one of the cards of the day for this week through Facebook. That Emperor is confident. I know myself. I don't need to waste money or time. I am confident. Nobody needs to take care of me. I have a lot to add. I add security, so on and so forth. All of these really great things. So I do see relationship coming in. 1, 2. It should be kind of interesting within the next 2.5 months. Okay? So just trust and be open to whatever spirit brings, or whomever spirit brings to you. And again, remember, it's not someone whom you have been in relationship with before. All right? All right, so if anyone else has any other questions in the online community, I invite you to type it in. Otherwise, I'm going to be signing off and starting my day. I don't believe that I have the subject for next week. I had it in my mind, and it kind of, maybe I'll talk about mediumship. We'll talk about mediumship. I know I've discussed the subject before, but there are so many different questions about mediumship and how to recognize signs and symbolism with it. So let's focus on that for next week. The drumming class, I believe, is 165. I'm going to double check, and it's a 4-hour event. And I also believe we also have potluck with it. So Carrie's, he said it's a community kind of thing here. Vanessa. I'm looking into your question, Vanessa. Let's see. Well, first of all, I heard she's a tough cookie. She's a tough cookie, and this is something that is important too, to make sure that we take care of our health. I was talking with one of the readers here, she's an astrologer as well, and she said that Pluto is so strong in her chart right now, and it's influencing her health, and she said that it's over her sun, like her SUN, and she said that I need to redo everything, so she's taking care of everything, right? She's redoing her knees. She's taking care of her eyes. She said it's because she said some of these health issues can be challenging for me. So your answer, Vanessa, is yes, it will go well. And we'll send you lots of good energy and Reiki. You've got that 10 of Cups, feeling good, lots of support, lots of nurturing happening for you. 6 of Pentacles. In this instance, I'm just hearing that there doesn't need to be a lot of extra worry around it. That's how I'm hearing it. Just because it's kind of the karma card too. What we give comes back. And so I'm feeling like it's really good energy. That's just my interpretation. And then the Page of Wands, having a lot of energy, feeling really good, and knowing that there is an improvement in the quality of your life. All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. So I look forward to seeing you next week. And it's been my pleasure. So next week we'll talk about mediumship. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon. Namaste. You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.